Scraptail is now listed on Steam. If you want to support the project, wishlisting the game is the best way to do so, and we will be forever grateful. Hi everyone, my name is Phil and welcome to another Scraptail devlog. There is a lot to talk about and I have a lot of work to do, so let's get started. Last week we went to Lisbon Games Week and it was pretty awesome. Before going, we tried to get the game in as much of an acceptable state as we could. So we finally did the lighting, it is much better now, we have that darker vibe going on, and we just kind of fixed as many bugs as we could. But lighting was definitely the big thing that stood out. What do you think of this new change of the level? Do you like it? Do you like this darker vibe? Do you think it puts everything together? Because that's exactly how I felt. I feel like adding the lights really brought the game to the way it's meant to be. Anyway, we also added some dialogues in the tutorial as to introduce the story and the commands, but it seems that still wasn't enough to guide the player. I will talk more about that later. At the convention, we made some goodies and chatted a lot with many convention goers, and people enjoyed the game a lot more than we were expecting. We received lots of good feedback and we were able to chat with many other Portuguese devs about their experiences, and this turned out to be the best part about going to the event, as we received a ton of good advice and we had some very insightful conversations about what our course of action should be, since we're the new kids on the block. The Portuguese dev community is also quite small, and so everyone is kind of looking out to help each other, and it's just a very wholesome time, and everyone's just really nice in general. Oh, and Jim Backley was there, and he played our game. Jim has been in the industry for 37 years, so it was awesome to have someone with that amount of experience give us some feedback on the game. We came back home on Sunday, and then took Monday off as we were expecting some kind of sickness to hit us, as it always does. Unfortunately, it only hit Katarina, who got stuck with COVID. But we took the remaining days to analyze the feedback we got and make a list of what comes next. Turns out we have a lot to do. Here are the main points. The AI simply doesn't work, and I mean that in all senses. Not only it is completely broken in terms of code, but the way we've laid this out just doesn't really work. A lot of the players felt incentivized to jump around the roofs and feel fast and awesome, only for an enemy to see them from across the map and activating the alarm, totally killing their freedom experience. So we've been thinking about ways of redoing this, possibly by removing the larger amount of small enemies that we have roaming around the map, and instead have smaller number of larger enemies. We're still experimenting with this and it is not quite ready for show off yet, but hopefully in 2 weeks we'll have something going. The second point is that our layout of the environment is very confusing. We wanted to give the player minimum hand holding, letting them fully explore and get lost in the underground world. Well, turns out we did this a little too well. Most players got lost very quickly and had no idea what to do or where to go. We didn't exactly count, but I'd say more than 50% of the players weren't able to find the main goal on their own. So we're going back to the drawing board and making some adjustments to the level. Maybe in the future we will let our levels be completely random with no guidance at all, but for the player's first experience we want to guide them and reward them for being smart and following the path. After some quick iterations, we now have some subtle guides for the player and the game feels much better already, but we're still working on it. While we're on the topic of environment, many people, including Bagley, recommended us to bring some life into the world, and that was probably what was most lacking in our game. The game feels empty and abandoned, and so we have been brainstorming ideas and taking some of the suggestions that were given to us to change this. Adding some interactable windows here and there, some spiders crawling around the floor at random times, random objects that we can interact with for whatever reason, and sound coming out of some unsuspecting places. We've also been trying to merge this with our task of guiding the player, as we can use some of this eye candy to kind of guide them towards their goal. The fourth topic is that we need way more marketing. We're basically invisible on social media, which is not good at all, and so we're going to try to do a lot more stuff on that department. If you want to help us with that, all the links are in the description for the classics. Instagram, Twitter, Discord, we even have a subreddit now, so you can go ahead and share your Scraptail theories, requests, thoughts, etc. These are the 4 big points that we are working on right now, along with a big list of bugs that we need to fix, so that's gonna be fun. With that said, I have to get back to work, but before I go, I just wanted to say that Scraptail now has a Steam page. It would help us immensely if you could check out the link below and wishlist the game. The game is not there yet, but if you want to try out what we have so far, you can do so by subscribing to our Master Thief tier on Patreon. Which reminds me, thank you so much Dr. Camper82 and Yugresh for your support. You help us more than you can possibly ever imagine. For this week's shoutout, I want to shout out all the Portuguese devs out there. There are too many for me to keep track of, but I will leave as many links in the description as I can think of. Please check them out, they deserve it, and there are some really awesome games out there. That is all I have to say for today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in 2 weeks.
Huh?